Hi guys, welcome back. It's my channel's first birthday, so I thought we'd have a little bit of a drink. So, the tipple of the day is Moniac Mead. This video isn't sponsored, but if Moniac Mead wants to sponsor me and send me a couple of bottles, I would be grateful. I love this stuff. I've been drinking this since the, early 90s, when I was still doing reenactment at the house. I love this stuff. It's really, really nice. Sorry about the glasses, but I'm still in the process of moving stuff over from my old house. Long story. Anyway, so I just thought we'd do a little, there's quite a bit in there. Oh, wonderful smell. So I just thought we'd do a quick sort of state of the channel while I have a little bit of a drink. I'm typical Englishman, any excuse for a drink. Lovely. See, mead is one of those, it's one of, quite possibly, I mean, we can't prove that, but it's probably the most, the oldest alcoholic drink there is. And did you know that they've actually found amphora, you know, those Greek storage jars, at the bottom of the Mediterranean, which they estimate to have been down there for about 2,000 years, and the honey was still usable. Can you believe that? It's a superfood. It's fantastic. It's antiseptic. If you're ever out in the wild and you cut yourself, one of the best dressings you can actually have is honey with spider's webs. Just spread that over your cut. Antiseptic and anyway. So, now for those of you who don't know, because I have had quite a few new subscribers lately, of which I'm up to 169, I believe. I'm doing really well. Thanks a lot. Just about to go over onto 24,000 views, which is awesome, considering I'm just this daft owl bugger making videos about something he's interested in. Oh, I do like that. Oh, I can see the shivers. It's warming as well. So yeah, at the beginning of the global pandemic, when the lockdowns first started in the UK, March 2020, I woke up one morning and I was blind. And I'm suffering from quite an aggressive form of glaucoma, which came on really, really quickly. I think my eyesight was gone, but I was compensating. But when it did finally go, it went quickly. Like I said, I woke up one morning and everything was grey. Went to the hospital. I've had loads of operations. The eyesight in the right eye is gone completely. There is no light.
Charging started, battery level 78%.
Shut up, you.
2205.
Get off.
Charging stopped. Camera button. Screen off.
Honestly. Anyway, I kept that. There's no vision. I've got a cataract on this eye, which they're not even bothering to do anything about because there's no point. Anyway, this eye, I've got a shunt in it, which is like a tube to relieve the pressure. I've had numerous laser surgeries. I've had a cataract operation, which has helped a little bit. If I hadn't had the cataract operation, I'd have been 100% blind. So that's the state of my vision. And the whole point of this channel really was to get back into archery. As a result of my wife, ex-wife, ex-partner, buying me a kid's archery set. Now some of you may know the story, but I was like, what the hell do you think you're doing buying me that? I was actually quite angry, but I didn't say anything. And anyway, a couple of days after they bought me for my birthday in 2020, was it 2020? No, it was 2021. It was last year. Yeah, 2021. I was in the house by myself, and I was so bored. I thought, what the hell, give it a go. And I surprised myself. And that made me think. And I suddenly thought, well, okay, yeah, I can do something with this. It's been quite hard. And as we've gone on, I've learned quite a lot. I've learned a lot about archery that I wouldn't necessarily have even looked at before. Excuse the pun, no pun intended. But Mongolian archery, Japanese archery, Middle Eurasian archery like Hungarian, Turkish, things like that. Stuff I would never have looked at, and I've really, really enjoyed learning about it. It's also renewed my interest in history. As some of you will no doubt have noticed, I've sort of got a little history thing going on the channel. My Sunday night social history Sunday things going on. And I'm really enjoying doing that. So it's given me a new lease on life. It's also given me a renewed taste for alcohol. Right, well, if you excuse me, I'm going to finish this little drop here. The thing about drinking mead is you can't just glug it down. You've got to allow it to circulate in your mouth, get the taste of the different honeys and the different flavours that come with it from the different nectars and pollens that the bees have used to create it. It's a wonderful drink. But on top of there's a couple of other meads I like to drink, but my son has recently started making the stuff, and this is one of his. How the hell? Here we go. Beautiful smell. Doesn't smell quite as clean as the Moniac, but it's home brew. It's homemade, so see if I can do this without spilling it everywhere. And yes, that's got a definite alcoholic smell to it. He reckons it's about 12% alcohol by volume. And so it tastes. I haven't actually tasted this one yet. It's different. It's got a nice... Ooh, that's nice. Whoa. That's got a like I said just there, got to let it circulate in your mouth. That's got a really mellow pre-flavour. Oh, the aftertaste, that's a nice... Oh, then you get the hit of the alcohol. That's nice. Well, ooh. Fruity after flavours. That's really, really nice, that. I think my eldest has got the knack of making mead. It seems to be a little bit dark, but it looks fairly clear. Seems to have a nice colour from what I can see. Anyway, so now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab a couple of my favourite bows, because that's something I would never have done without having, if I hadn't lost my eyesight. I would probably never have bought half of these bows. I'd have probably just stuck with my target bows and my longbow. But I bought some nice, really nice bows. So I'm going to grab a couple of my favourites and I'm going to do a little bit of shooting. So while you go and watch me do that, I'm going to finish this drink. You know, it's funny guys, but as a result of losing my eyesight, I bought some bows and other equipment that I probably wouldn't have bought. I would probably have stuck with the good old English longbow and my target arrows, but as a result of the eye loss, the sight loss, and these are probably two of my favourites. This one is the Scythian from Attila's Archery, and I just think it's a bonny, it's a pretty bow, the shape of it and everything. I mean, it's nothing fancy in terms of poundage, but I've had to learn a few techniques in order to shoot it properly. For instance, I mean, I shoot it inside the bow. I can't get away with shooting outside the bow so much. Probably wouldn't be so much of a problem if I could see out of my right eye, but I can't. So I'm shooting inside the bow, on the left-hand side of the bow, using a sort of modified Slavic release, which I wouldn't have learned otherwise. I've studied a lot more of the history of archery than I perhaps might otherwise have done. I would probably have just stuck with the history of the English longbow. But I've learned quite a bit more about other cultures that I wouldn't have known about. And one of my favourite archery cultures is actually the Assyrians, and I can't wait to get hold of a decent Assyrian longbow because they just look fantastic bows, and they just look like an interesting bow to shoot. Right, so that's one of my favourites. That's the Scythian. See, the Scythians were a fascinating people as well. A long way prior to the Mongols, but in the same sort of area on the grasslands of the steppe. But fascinating peoples. And then one of my other favourite bows that I've bought is this little short Turkish from Alibor. Again, it's nothing special. It's only a £30 draw, although I do wish I'd got the 40 after having shot this quite a bit and realising how well and how easy this shoots, considering it's such a short bow. It's only 40 inches overall. I really do wish I'd got the £40 one. But hindsight is a wonderful thing. So that's another thing that has surprised me about my journey back into, is how well I'm actually doing with it. I mean, I always shot instinctively with the longbow, and I didn't realise how much you take for granted when you're shooting instinctively. You really don't. The amount of calculations and decisions you make in your head without even realising you're doing it. When you're shooting instinctive, it's actually quite breathtaking if you think about it. Now I've lost 85-90% of my sight, so I don't have the ability to make all those calculations and decisions. So I'm having to try and do the same sort of thing with that minute amount of vision, and the challenge itself has been quite enjoyable. I've really enjoyed, and now I'm at the stage where, if you listen, a lot of those arrows are in the same sort of vicinity, a lot of them touching each other, and that's been the challenge I've really enjoyed, is being able to shoot these bows with a reasonable amount of accuracy. You're back. I am just about to try an experiment. I've got some more of the lads' mead in there. I finished that off and I put some more in. I'm going to mix it with a bit of the Moniac and see what we get. Did you enjoy that little bit of shooting? Did you guess I'd choose the short Turkish and the Scythian? Two really, really nice bows to shoot. The short Turkish surprised me. It really did when it arrived. I picked it up and I thought, oh my God, it's a kid's bow, but it's not. The Scythian by Attila's Archery is a beautiful bow to shoot. I mean, I can't remember what it's actually made out of now. But it's carbon fibre, I think, with bamboo and something else, but I can't remember what it is. But it's by Attila's Archery. In the UK it's sold by Merlin Archery if you want to have a look at it. Fantastic bow. By the way, I'm not sponsored, so Merlin Archery, I'm coming to pay you a visit in a couple of weeks, so a discount would be nice. Now, but seriously, those two bows, fantastic bows to shoot, and I would recommend them wholeheartedly. The Turkish one is from Amazon, believe it or not. A little bit expensive for the size of it, but I think you pay your money, take your choice. And it's a fantastic bow, and I really do like the Scythian. I shoot the Scythian at least 2 or 3 times a week, and I shoot the Turkish probably more than I do any other bow at the moment. Right, so this is a nice mixture. Oh, that does smell nice, that. It's got an earthy smell. It's a really nice, clean, natural smell. So, now I think I prefer my son's mead mixed with a little tiny bit of the Moniac, but the Moniac I think I would prefer to drink it by itself. But either way, now I don't know what the sort of availability of mead in America and Australia and other places is like, but I think everybody should drink mead, because everybody keeps, like all the environmentalists, now the eco-terrorists and people like that, keep going on about bees are dying off. Well, one way that everybody could support the bee population is to buy mead. Buy and drink mead. Because the more mead that gets sold, doesn't matter what brand it is, the more mead that gets sold, the more the requirement for honey, the more the honey they need, the more bees they'll have. It's a win-win situation. Anyway. Yes, right. And so this will be my 3rd glass of mead. Oh, and tell you I can feel it. So that's the state, the state of my archery at the moment. I have surprised myself, and I'm pleasantly pleased with. I mean, I'm getting to the point now where I can shoot if I think about it. Well, not think about it. If I concentrate and I'd play my part without a great deal of vision, I can actually shoot 2 to 3 inch groups without a great deal of effort. Most of the groups I shoot, a lot of the time when I'm paying attention, even out to 10, 12, 15 yards, are sub 5 inch groups, which I am really pleased with. Now, bearing in mind, I can't see the arrows in flight. I'm shooting instinctively. The only thing I've got on the bow to aid me is a little bit of neon tape, just to give me a reference point. And I think I'm doing really, really well. The problem I have is I can either see the target or I can see the bow most of the time. Depending on light conditions, a lot of the time I can't see the bow at all because it's too close to me. I mean, I put my hand there, I can barely see my hand. But I'm really, really pleased with what I've been able to achieve. I mean, I won't tell a lie, my eyesight is getting worse. But you've got to do what you've got to do. You've got to work with what you've got. And I think, thankfully, I'm the type of person who will just keep going on. And hopefully, you guys will support me, as you have been so far, which I really, really am appreciative of. Anyway, to you, my subscribers and my viewers, all the best. Happy birthday to the channel, exactly a year old today, and may it continue for a long time. Slán. You know, my son really does have hidden depths. If he can make a mead that nice, that is really, really good. Yeah, so to the bees, Slán. Right, hope you found that interesting. Hope it wasn't too boring. Stay safe, keep slinging the sticks, and we'll talk again soon. Cheers.